It's, listen, I get it. I understand what they're doing. They're trying to say that the laws are outdated, they're antiquated, all that this needs to be looked into. But if you think that Judge is going to get up there on a morning and dismiss this because they're quoting laws from 1887, I got news for you. It's probably not going to happen, because you have to look at the sense of all the angles. It would be, and I don't want to say an insultment, but the fucking community would go nuts.
Yeah.
But if it did happen, I'll tell everybody this: state's just going to reindict. They have enough evidence to do so.
And they can just call another grand jury.
Yeah.
Even though the defense is saying, we want this thrown out and we want to take it to preliminary hearing, that doesn't mean that's what's going to happen.
See,
it can get thrown out,
right,
and they can take it back to another grand jury.
Right. I think what's going on, and this makes a total lot of sense now, is that the defense wants that prelim hearing, because what can they do? Well, we can get witnesses on the stands. Who are the two people that we want to question the most? The two people that lived in that house that night that survived, Dylan Mortensen and Bethany Funk. If I can get them on the stand, we can start poking some holes in their story and start beating these witnesses up. I just want to recognize a brand new member. We have a brand new member here in the chat. So AJ's become a member. Let's play the member tones for her. Thank you so much, AJ. We appreciate that. Becoming a member here on the channel. So yeah, I mean, going back to that, I don't see it. I don't think that it's going to get thrown out. And I know there's like creators the other day celebrating it. Like, yeah, like
I heard that.
I mean,
one, like, this is celebration that if he's innocent and there's an innocent man in jail,
right?
There's a mass murder out there. So why are we celebrating? Like, I don't get it.
But why? Like, even though, why would you like? I would celebrate in the sense of like, why would you celebrate where potentially this person could be the person that did this, and he just walks out of jail, and like, now you have 4 innocent lives that have no justice.
Absolutely.
I don't get it. Why would you celebrate that? It's a little crazy. Summer just gifted
that's so nice
memberships. Thank you so much.
She's my Oprah.
Thank you. That was very nice. We have new members. Yeah.
I'm gonna start calling Summer Oprah.
Thank you.
She's the best at gifting membership.
Yeah, thank you so much, Summer. I appreciate that.
Hey, I was gifted a membership. How was I gifted one? Wait a second. I thought I was already a member, though.
Oh, it might have upgraded you. It probably upgraded you for one.
Well, it upgraded my status.
All right, let's see here.
Well, it's about time.
I'm so close to 8,000 subscribers. I would love to get to 8,000 subscribers tonight. So if you all haven't subscribed to my channel, just go down there and hit the subscribe button while we're hanging out here. I really would appreciate it.
It's free and it's fun.
It's free to subscribe, believe me. And all right, so what I have here tonight is I wanted to bring up and talk a little bit about this alibi, since we were getting into it. And this was from the Ohio State Journal, and it was written actually yesterday. And I just wanted to go over this a little bit. So Kohberger's team seeks dismissal of indictment. Just if anybody doesn't know what's going on and need to get caught up on kind of all things Idaho here. So an attorney for Brian Kohberger is asking the Latah County District Judge to dismiss the grand jury indictment that led to the quadruple murder suspect's arraignment. In a 22-page filed on Tuesday, attorney Jay Logston argued the grand jury was misled about the standard of proof required for the indictment. Kohberger faces 4 counts of first-degree murder and 1 count of burglary in November stabbing deaths of the University of Idaho students. The grand jury indictment led to his arraignment in May. I just want to go down here because we already know, the background. I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but we know the background here. So Logston argued that the grand jury was not instructed to find the burden of proof for the indictment, but instead was told to find a lesser burden of proof, which is only appropriate for a preliminary hearing. That's the big sticking point here. And that's what I kept saying, Tanya was saying a couple minutes ago. The defense is pissed because that prelim hearing got skipped. And that's where they want that, because they want to challenge those witnesses.
Yeah.
They
do. They even tried to get Bethany afterwards.
Yeah, during the grand jury hearing.
Yeah. Yeah. And they were trying to get her to come up there, and then they were like, well, we'll just go down there and interview you down where you're at. I wonder if they ever ended up doing that.
I
I
heard there
would
was a
assume if it
rumor
was a
that
big
Dylan
deal.
and Bethany were there during the
Yeah.
grand jury hearing, but we're not 100% sure because the transcript
Mhm.
hasn't been released yet.
Yeah.
So, but
Makes
we'll go
sense.
back here to the article. So it says, because the grand jury in this matter was only informed of improper standard is a fundamental error necessarily depriving Mr. Koberger's central right, Logston wrote. Logston said the indictment should be dismissed or the case should be remained to a magistrate for a preliminary hearing. See, they want that plea. That's the sticking thing. They
Mhm.
want that hearing. Koberger's other attorney, Ann Taylor, also alleged that the grand jury is not selected properly and filed a motion to stay in the court proceeding. Just want to recognize this really quick. Victorine's been a crime enthusiast on my channel for the last 4
Mhm.
months. She's using her free chat today to highlight. Unfortunately, I can't bring it up. For some reason, I don't know why we can't do that on StreamYard.
I know, I don't like that.
So, but it does say, let's make it 8K. Let's make it to 8K, like and subscribe. Thank you, Victorine. You've always been a huge, huge, huge
Mm.
supporter of LTL podcast. In her motion stating the grand jury selection process failed Idaho code requiring jury candidates to be randomly drawn from a court jury list, that the jury commission shall draw relinquished number of qualified jurors for one or more panels for the grand jury. She also suggested that there is an error regarding the qualification questionnaire form that the jurors must fill out. Because these failures, she wrote, Koberger requests to stay the proceedings so further investigation can be done. I'm going to be honest with you. I mean, they're freaking throwing a wedge. They're throwing a
Mhm.
wedge out there in this
Yeah,
investigation.
they are.
I mean, she's throwing a wedge. So I got to give her all the props. This is what your attorney should do for
Yeah,
you.
they should.
you know. So Latah County prosecutor Bill Thompson filed a motion this week stating Koberger did not comply with Idaho code rule regarding an alibi defense. The suspect is supposed to provide an alibi by July 24th, which the deadline both Thompson and the defense agreed to. An alibi defense means that there is evidence that Koberger was somewhere other than the crime scene and the murders were committed. Thompson stated Koberger's attorney did not specify where he was at the time of the murders. The suspect did not also provide names and addresses of witnesses that can support his defense. So
Wow.
again, I think this goes back to, Taylor being pissed that this went exactly right away to a grand jury. They didn't
Mhm.
have the opportunity at that prelim hearing to question Bethany and
Yeah,
Dylan and have things on the record that would poke holes in their stories.
yeah.
So
Because they keep saying they want more evidence, they want more, so they didn't get their way there.
right, and that would
Mm,
give them an advantage if they had that prelim hearing.
exactly.
It would
Yep,
give them an advantage.
yep.
So, really interesting stuff. A lot, and I always say this too, when people look at these cases, especially this case, because it's so complex and there's so much emotion tied to it,
Mhm.
you want to look at these particular cases like it's not checkers, it's
Yeah.
chess.
Mhm.
And this is what
Absolutely.
attorneys do. They file these motions because you're just trying to get an edge over your opponent,
Yeah,
essentially.
yep.
you know
And
so
that's all we're gonna be reading for a while is motions and
yeah, and I'm going to
motions,
tell you, it's
sealing.
probably going to be another year or two before this gets to court.
Yep. Yeah.
Even Jennifer, when she was on the channel the other day, was saying, yeah, you're probably not going to see this case
Yeah.
until 2025 or 2026.
Yeah.